Grab your dice, Wargamers. It's time to take Void Pirates out on a little date. We are going to be taking this Goal Systems rule set by 4Color Studios out for a little test drive. And as I mentioned in my last video, what we're looking at here are, on the side of our protagonists, the crew of the spaceship, I don't know, it's a tramp freighter, let's just call it the Blackraven. This is the captain of the ship. He is a fugitive warbot. He is a sentient robot in a world and a universe that doesn't appreciate such things. So he is our hero. He's got two-gun mojo and a brace of pistols. He's got iron fists that are integrated. And he just wants to make his way in a universe that is hostile to him. Along the way, he was helped by this technician. Her name is Marion Dupree. She is a librarian who helped him escape with the ship and is now on a quest to find her true love. She is a technician, as I said. She's got a med kit and a scanner and is going to be doing all of the tech rolls for the crew of the Blackraven. This is their brawler, Rusty. He is an escaped slave from the rust mines. As I said, he's a brawler. He's got a couple of rerolls on melee, as we'll see. And then here is the, let's call it the foil of the group, I guess. Lieutenant Dane is a military brat. He is pugnacious and foolhardy, and he is a shooter. This little feller in the back is not part of the crew. He's just a cleaner bot who's a little bored because this battle station where they're going to be having fun does not have any trash cans yet. I haven't quite finished the terrain, but it's finished enough for what we have in mind today. There's going to be a lot more details added as time goes on, and it will never be done because it's Wargamer terrain. The day we're done with improving our terrain is the day you can start measuring us for a pine box. Next up, we're going to take a look at the antagonists for this crew. And here they are, the villains of the piece, a mercenary outfit that is after the same thing as Cobalt 15. These are the Pelagic Imperial mercenaries, led by Lieutenant Shark and Sergeant Shark. They're the bad guys. They don't need great names. What you need to know is that Lieutenant Shark is a brawler with a big old gun, and Sergeant Shark is a shooter with kill shot. We'll talk about what that means if it comes up. These two guys are tougher than the average Joe, and then these troopers are effectively red shirts. They all have a bonus to their ranged attacks, and that's it. These guys, because they are from a watery world, all have rebreathers, they all have light armor, and they all have a melee knife that gives them a reroll in all melee attacks. Every single one of them. He also has a scanner, which will help him find anyone who is hidden. And those are the forces. Again, we've got a little Huey back here as technician bot. Don't mind him. He's just going to be moving around, taking up space and adding a little bit of visual flair through the course of this scenario. So, with that out of the way, let's go ahead and set up the initial confrontation. Heated words. You've run into the enemy leader and attempts to resolve the situation diplomatically are deteriorating. Then again, fringe diplomacy is slang for gun battle, so what did you expect to happen? The story here is that both Cobalt 15 and the mercenary sharks have been hired to find and deliver the most valuable baby in the universe. Why is the baby so valuable? I don't know. Maybe it's made out of unobtainium. For whatever the reason, both of these guys are after the same thing. Cobalt 15 was looking to gain information by meeting with an informant, and he beat Cobalt to the informant. So now they're both trying to get the same information. Regardless, set up the train, and it was already done on that. We're using a scenario starter from, what is it called? 5 parsecs from home. Each side's leader places them exactly 6 inches apart from each other, which we've already done. The remaining figures are set up at least 6 inches away and no more than 12 inches, with no figure closer than 12 inches to enemy figures. At least 6 inches and no more than 12 inches. Taking turns doing so. We're going to start with the sharks, since they have the most number of figures, and 6 inches of horizontal distance is quite a ways. That means that he's got his sergeant up in the control room. The place is empty. I'm assuming that it's late at night, early in the morning, where the only things moving around are those 2 pesky little maintenance bots. So, sharks place 1, and then 6 inches means that we're going to put our technician back here, just coming in the doorway. And if 6 inches is as close as we can get, we'll put the next one in cover here. Let's put them all up here until we know for sure. The next nearest we can put is, we'll put our brawler on this side. And then the Sharky boys will hold down a doorway back here. And the last of Cobalt 15's meat sack allies will hide right down here. So to tilt it down a little bit to give you a little better view, we've got our librarian coming in the door, our shooter behind the planter, and our brawler over here in the red waiting room. On the other side, way off in the distance, these sharks are going to have a guy in the control room, a guy in the doorway here. In fact, that's where they're bursting in from. And he can have within 6 to 12, so I think, yeah, that's about as close. That's where we want to put him. I'm going to put one more back here for backup. Way off in the landing bay. And then that's it for our setup. To start things off, each leader secretly decides if they will take a shot, charge, or run for it. Now, since I can't keep it secret from myself, what I'm going to do is put a red die in a bag for shooting, an orange die for taking a shot, and a white die for raising the white flag and making a run for it. And first, and we'll mix it up, and we're going to draw a die first for Cobalt 15, and he decides to charge forward for some melee. In the meantime, the sharks are going to take a shot, resolve all shots, and then resolve any brawls. Great, so we have a lovely little way of getting used to how the goal system works without too much muss and without too much fuss. So the first thing we do is resolve the shark boss's shooting attack. And to do that, we are going to roll. Now, the standard goal system roll is a 4d6. He has a really big gun, and that's it. Now, the good thing with the really big gun is that he's got 3 rerolls on this. So first we roll for the attacker, and he gets an impressive amount of hits. He's not going to use any of his rerolls. He's got 2, 3, 4, 5 successes. So against that, we are going to roll Cobalt's defense. And he's got a defense of 4D with 3 rerolls because he's got armor. So he gets a total of 2 successes, but he's got 3 rerolls. He's going to go ahead and reroll these 2 dice. And he manages to get 2, 3, 4, 5 successes. So that means he successfully evades the shot. An impressive thing to do, given that he is a rather slow boy. He may be tough, but he's kind of slow. So he charges into combat, which means he can move 8 centimeters. Which means I should probably get a tape measure that's measured in centimeters instead of something useful like carpentry fractions. We'll be right back. This will be a lot less slappy to listen to as well. So because he is so slow, Cobalt 15 is only going to be able to cover that much ground before he runs out of steam. Gambling on an attack, a melee attack, was probably a good bet because he is a much better melee fighter. With that out of the way, we go right to the normal gain turn. So to do that, we have to start with initiative. And initiative is a standard 4D, except that Cobalt 15, because he's a warbot, gets to roll an extra couple of dice. He is a tactical genius, and we're going to reroll that one. So he gets 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 successes, against which our shark only manages to score 1, 2 successes. So, alternating models. Cobalt is going to go ahead and charge again, and this time we know he's within 8 centimeters, so he's going to use that charge to initiate a melee attack. And that melee attack is going to be at 4D, plus he has Iron Fist, so he gets 2 rerolls. Anything else? Oh, he's a rogue super soldier, so he actually attacks at a 5D. He gets, holy cats, 1 reroll for melee. He actually gets a total of 3 rerolls for melee. So he's going to roll 5D to attack with 3 rerolls. On his initial roll, he gets 3 goals. He's going to reroll 3 dice, and he only gets 3 goals. In defense, Mr. Shark is going to roll 6 dice, and he gets let's see here. He gets nothing. He's got an attack boost in his 5, so he gets a 5 with no reroll. So 3 versus 1, 2, 3, 4 hits. Fights him off. Oh, you know what I forgot? Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 versus 3. Because he charged, he gets 1 extra die. So 3 versus 4, nothing happens. If the defender wins a melee, that's all there is to it. He is then going to activate his sergeant. And the sergeant is up here in the control room. He is going to... Now, in goal system, you actually make 2 actions. You can make a movement action, and you can make an attack action. You can do those in any order. He's going to start off with his movement action, and everybody moves 6 centimeters. So that's going to be basically 4 to there, and 2 to here. You can also use a free action if you want. And does he have any other special abilities? No, he does not. In like manner, our fugitive slave, a fugitive from the rust mines, is going to charge up these stairs straight at that sharky guy. On the shark's turn, he's going to move one of his boys up, and again, he's going to have to use all of his movement to get into position. So it becomes our librarian's turn to slide up here, hoping to get a better shot to support her boss. We'll have this guy run over and take up position behind this alien planter. And the last of the spaceship crew's turn to go is going to be our Lieutenant Dane. That's about it. The Sharks have 2 more guys left to go. And we're going to check line of sight here. I don't think anybody has any shots. Nope. We got a guy here that has yet to move, and I think that being the case, we'll bring him. He's going to charge over to take cover in the doorway of the food mart right around the corner there. Here, I'll put him so you can see him just a little bit better. But he is in cover. That means it's time for the lieutenant. The lieutenant is in combat. He gets 6 dice, and it's 6 dice that are just a straight roll. Don't know where I can roll these where you can keep me honest. I'm going to go ahead and move this out of the way. Oh, that's a 2. So we got 2, 4, 5 successes. Good news for Cobalt 15. On the other side, we have a defensive 6 with 3 rerolls. And we got our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 defenders already, so he successfully fights him off. That's going to be a heavyweight bout, one for the ages, ladies and gentlemen. That's the end of the first turn. Now we move on to reroll our initiative. It's going to be 4 dice for the Sharks, and they get 3 successes. It's going to be 6 dice for the good crew, and they get just 1 success. So the Sharks get to go first, and we have the same situation where our lieutenant rolls 6 dice for his melee attack and gets 2, 3, 4, 5 hits, and we've got 6 dice for defense with a heck of a lot of rerolls if we need them. 2, 4, 5. And we can go ahead and re-roll these failures and add 6 to our successes. So that's all you need. It's all over. He's going to punch him back. When he attacks with... Now, once per game, he can make... let's see, can he? Does he have it? No, he does not. So he's got a standard 5D attack with... with his iron fists. Alright, so he actually has a 5 dice to attack with 2 rerolls. And we're going to reroll these 2 misses, because 2 successes probably isn't going to do it. So we're going to call it 3 successes. On the other side, Lieutenant Shark, so 3 successes versus 4 dice. And he gets his 1, 2, 3 successes. So they've stalemated once again, but it's his turn now. Our slave miner is within 10 centimeters of Sergeant Shark. That's going to put him in hand-to-hand combat. Good old Rusty here has a blade, which gives him 2 rerolls on melee. And he already has a +2 bonus, so he's going to roll 6 dice. Plus he charged, so that's going to be a 7th dice. For a grand total of 4 successes, but he gets rerolls, 2 of them. So his 4 successes are joined by 3 more successes, so 7 successes altogether. And the guy he's charging has +2. He's tough, so once per game he can make +2 to his defense. So he's going to go ahead and use that now and roll 6 dice straight up. 7 versus 5 gives him 2 wounds, so he does live to fight another day. But he's not going to fight right now. Instead, this shark is going to advance to here he's got a clean line of sight on Lieutenant Dane. And Lieutenant Dane is a total of 28 centimeters away, which puts him in medium range. So there's no difference. He's got +1 to his attack, ranged attack, so he rolls 6 dice altogether. And with those 6 dice, he scores a total of 2, 3, 4, 5 successes. Lieutenant Dane is tough. He's going to use his once per game super tough. Oh, I forgot to mention, he can make a fate check, and if he gets 2 successes, which he didn't, so he can no longer be tough. He's going to use his toughness, and then just for giggles, he gets 2 successes. And with toughness, that chance roll, if it comes up, is that a 2 or is it a 3? Tough guys. Chance roll 3. So he's done. This is the only time he's going to get that bonus of 2 to his defense. But he really wants it because 3 is a pretty good hit. He gets 1, 2, 3 successes, so it saved his life, or at least saved him a couple of vitality points. He's going to go ahead and respond in kind or in unkind by moving up 6 centimeters and doing the same. He also, by moving to here, has a clear line of sight. Lieutenant Dane is also a shooter, so he gets +2 ranged attack and defense, but he has a special power of kill shot. Now I've brought it around to show you from Lieutenant Dane's point of view. He's got a clean shot right here, and because he has a rifle, he would ignore the long distance range penalty. So as it is, he is going to be shooting with a total of 6 dice, and he gets 3 rerolls on this. Oh, get out of the way, you. So we're going to reroll these 3 non-goals, sitting on 3 hits, and we wound up with a total of 5 hits altogether, against which our Sharky Goon, he's got light armor, so he's going to roll a straight up 5, and he gets 1 reroll. So against 5 hits, he manages 3 successes. Meaning he takes just 2 damage. He's going to charge into melee. And he is going to help his boss man out against the impressive Warbot. In Void Pirates, when you fight a melee, and you are outnumbered, because there are now 2 guys, he gets +1 die to his roll, plus he gets another die because of the charge, and he's got a knife to attack with. So in addition to his 6 dice, he gets 1 reroll. 5, 6 successes with a reroll with those failures, and wind up with a grand total of 6 successes. But he is attacking a Warbot with a lot of rerolls. Four of them, to be precise. And he's defending against 5. He only got, and you only get 1 chance to reroll, so he only got 2 successes. And he only got 2 successes, so he takes 3 hits at this point. The good news is Cobalt 15 has 6 vitality. Heroes are hard to put down. That blow would have killed an ordinary man, but Cobalt can take it. Who's going to go next? Rusty's going to fight. Rusty's a brawler. He's going to roll 6 dice. No, he's going to use his killing blow. He's got a chance. If he can get a success on 2d6, 1 success is all it takes. He got 2 of them. He puts this guy knocked out. And that's all there is to it. Because he attacked, he still gets a chance to move, and he is going to do that. He's going to run up to here. Now, he can't charge, but he can move the 5 centimeters to there and then sidle on over here to that doorway. Well, he's not going to take any of that. This shark is going to... he's not going to have a line of sight. So he's going to back away. He's not the bravest shark. And he's doing that for a reason. He's doing that because this guy's going to take a couple of moves to get back into brawling position. He'll win any shootout. At least that's what he thinks. He moved, did what he could. That means it's Marion's turn, and Marion is going to slide up 8 centimeters to right here. She's going to play it cautious. Her job is not to get stuck in. She's eventually going to try to make her way over to help Lieutenant Dane with her medkit. One thing that I forgot about on the last turn is that the shark's way off here in the distance. I'm going to bring this around to show you. There is a guy just kind of hanging out right back here. He blends into the terrain a little too well. He's going to use all 10 of his centimeters to try and come up behind and catch these guys in a crossfire. Might take a little too long for him to get there, but it is at least worth a shot. And I think that is everybody. Next turn. Initiative. 3 successes for the Sharks. 4 successes for the crew. Means they get to go first. Marion is going to take this opportunity to dash across here into cover. And that's all she's got time for. The Sharks are going to go ahead and open fire. This guy again, well, this time he's actually going to move up a little bit and take that shot at Lieutenant Dane. All he needs is 1 hit, and he can put the lieutenant out of the fight. He's going to roll his standard 6 dice with nothing special going on. And he manages to score 4 successes against Lieutenant Dane's 6 dice with 1 reroll. And he manages to get 2, 3, 4, 5 successes. So he dodges out of the way. Hard to shoot the shooters. Who's the next most important person for Team Good Guy? Probably going to be our combat specialist, but he's going to only move 6 centimeters this time around. He's going to stay in cover, and now he's going to start trading shots with this Sharky boy. Might not be the greatest idea because he's not much for the shooting, but he does have a pistol, which gives him 1 reroll. So he's going to roll his 4 and get 1 success. With a reroll, he gets 2 successes. Our shark gets 5 dice with 1 reroll. Looking to beat 3, and he does it even without the reroll, so we're not even going to take advantage of that. No need. But he can now shoot back, and he shoots back with a total of 5 dice. and he gets 2 successes. Rusty, gets an extra die because he is behind cover. Anything else? Anything else? He's tough. Let's see. He gets 1 success, so he can't reuse it. But this one time, he gets to be 6 on the defense. And I'm just looking to see if he has anything else. Nope, no armor, no nothing like that. So he managed to score 2 successes against the 2 successes of the sharpshooter means that he ducked down and ping, 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 ping. The cover caught the bullets for him. They've both gone. The last player to go on Cobalt 15's side is Cobalt 15 himself. And he's gonna turn his attention to this little guy and see if he can take him out. Now, little guy gets a bonus to his attack. So he is going to be attacking in melee with 5 dice and 1 reroll. Oh, and he's on defense, so he actually gets 2 rerolls. So 5 dice, 2 rerolls for him. He's got 4 successes already, and he'll go ahead and see if he can do any better than that. Rolling 2 of them, so he winds up with 4 successes altogether on his defense roll against our warbots, Iron Fists. He's going to attack with 5 dice, and he gets 3 rerolls. Looking to beat a 4. He gets 2 hits initially, and 2 more for a total of 4 on 4, and that's all that he's going to be able to get away with. Now we'll have... So everybody's gone on that side, and they won the initiative. So how many of these guys? 1, 2 guys have gone, and he went. So now it's both of these brawlers' turn to go. And we'll start with the big boy, who is going to roll 6 dice. And that's it. And those 6 dice will net him 4 successes against 5 defense dice with 3 rerolls. For 6 successes, that attack does no good. Oh, he gets 1 extra die, which does 1 extra hit, which is negated, so it's still 6 on 6. Now it's time for little guy versus the warbot. That trooper is going to roll 4 dice this time. Nope, he's going to attack boost. So he gets 3 successes with 1 reroll. Still 3 successes against the warbots. So 3 successes, 4 successes. Quite the defensive struggle we've got going here. Anybody else? Anybody else? That's all we got. So let's do some initiative. The Sharks get 3 to go first, and our hero gets 3. Since he is the hero, he's got the tiebreaker, and the heroes go first, which is good news because it gives our medic a chance to slide up over here. To bring you around so you can see what our librarian is up to. And she is going to heal up the obnoxious military brat. She has a med kit. So, 4d6. Toughness number 3. She did it. On a toughness number 3, heal 1 vitality. After each use, make a chance roll. Looking for 2 successes. So she only had 1 band-aid in her kit, but that band-aid is enough to bring him back to 2 vitality. And we'll make note of that because Very important because he's taking another shot from this guy right here. And that guy... as usual, we'll be rolling 5 dice. Straight up. He gets 4 successes. And Rusty gets 5 successes on his defense. So he manages to dodge out of the way. So now that he's feeling a little more chippy, he's going to slide up here, taking cover now, which is important because he's in cover as well. So on the attack, good old Dane is going to be rolling 6 dice. He has 3 rerolls on this. And he only has 1 opportunity to improve his score. So he gets 2, 4, 6, 8 successes. Oh, he's upset now. So 8 successes against 6 dice with, how many rerolls is that? Just 1. So that's 1 success. So that's a total of 6 altogether. He goes down. So another one is KO'd. Give him credit. He might be obnoxious, but Lieutenant Dane is 1 crack shot. It's the Shark's turn. We got to start with a big fight. Lieutenant Shark is going to try his killing blow. He gets 1 success, and it doesn't work. Sorry, big guy. Warbot is going to take his attack on that little guy. So he's got 5 dice with a single reroll. And he manages to score 4 successes. He needed that against a man who only gets 4 dice with 1 reroll. So 4 successes against 2 successes means he does 2 damage to that trooper. So, though, you know, I think he only had 1 hit point left anyway. Because he and he are both unharmed. He's only got 1 hit point left. And that's where we're at. In fact, is it Warbot's turn? No, it's the Shark's turn. So they're going to fire. This guy is going to take another shot at Rusty. As a shooter, he's got 5 dice, 6 dice to shoot to hit, and 6 dice. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 against a defense of 6, 7 altogether. Oh no, that 2 is only for melee, so that's going to be 5 altogether, including, so 6 negated by 3, 3 hits puts Rusty down. Oh, that's all he could do. The last of Cobalt 15's forces is the Metal Man himself. He's going to go ahead and again try to take out the outnumbered guy who's not quite as strong. And he's going to hit him with his standard. Is he alone? No. He's going to hit him with his standard 5D punching attack with 3 rerolls. He gets 1 hit and turns it into 3 against a defensive 4 with 1 reroll. So 3 hits versus 2. He does 1 more blow, which is enough to put him down. Now, he can make a toughness roll of, because he was reduced to exactly 0 vitality, he's considered knocked out. And when you are knocked out, you can make a toughness 4 check to remain standing. Toughness 4, which is really difficult. So 4 dice, he needs 4 successes, and he didn't get it. So he really is knocked out. We have, since he can't go, this is the last activation for this go-round. Still working his way around. See him over there? Heading through the door. He can make it to right here. And if he plays his cards right, he'll pop out of this door right here. We'll have to see if it'll be in time. Sharks, roll for initiative. And get a total of 2, 3, 4 successes. Against kobolds, 1, 2, 3 successes. So the sharks get to go first this time. And he's going to do the usual punchy bit. Six dice. You know, for a guy with a big gun, he sure is spending a lot of time punching a dude in the head. 4 hits against a guy who is so tough, he rolls 5 dice and gets 1. He actually gets 4 rolls. He only needs 2 to get tons of defense. Nothing happens. Well, alright, funny guy. We'll go ahead and we'll just return the favor. 5 attacks. He only needs 1 reroll to get 2, 4, 6, 7 hits. 7 hits. Let's see if Lieutenant Shark can stand up to that. 7 hits against 2, 3, 4. So those 3 are going to put him down, knock him out. Again, he can make a standard toughness 4. He needs 4 successes. He only got 1. He does not survive. And because that is just the first of his actions, he can still move 6 centimeters, which is enough to put him over here. Slide that corpse out of the way a little bit. And tilt the camera so you can see he has just enough movement to come inside the Gold Cross franchise. Isn't that nice? So 1-1, and the Sharks have a guy who's going to run down the hallway to here. That's all he can do. He does not have line of sight, but he can move up just a little bit. Here's Lieutenant Dane. He's going to take a shot down the length of the corridor. It's within 30 centimeters, so he's going to be able to roll his full 6 dice. Now remember, he's only down to, he's got 2 vitality left, so he's going to roll 6 dice with 3 rerolls. And he gets a total of 6 successes. His reroll comes up empty, so just 6 successes. He's a shooter. He knows what it's all about. He's going to roll 5 dice for defense. And he's going to get, how many? 1 reroll. So 2, 4, 5. So he only takes 1 damage. He gets 1 more die, actually, because he's behind cover, which comes up empty. But he still takes 1 damage. Not looking good for the Sharks at this point. And so he moved and he fired. And he's going to swing around and take a shot at Cobalt, who is also in cover. It's going to be a total of 6 dice to attack. And that's it. Straight 6. For 3 successes. Cobalt, who is also wounded, does still get his 4 dice for defense. 4 dice this time because it's a shooting attack. But he does get 3 rerolls. So he already has 4, 5 successes. So he shrugs off any potential damage. And I think the only one left to go is going to be our specialist, who has no... You know, she's going to go ahead and move up to the door here. Peek around the corner and rip off a shot at that shark. That's exactly what she's going to do. She hasn't taken a shot this whole time. It's just a straight 4 dice for her. But she gets 3 successes. He is not in cover. So he's got to roll his full... He gets 1 reroll because of his armor. And he's going to roll his full 5. Trying to beat 3 successes. He gets 2, 3, 4. So he does not take any damage. That might have been a mistake for her. And now we see what a mistake it is. End of the turn. 4 dice for the Sharks. They get 4 for the initiative. 6 dice for the big boy. We got a success of 4, and because he has the higher initiative, they go first, which is great because she doesn't want any part of this. She's going to run up those stairs. If you're going upstairs, I rule that it doesn't affect your movement at all. She's going to kind of come around this way just to ensure that he can't get to her. And he's going to think that is just fine, unfortunately for him. So he's going to move up to right here. That's as far as he can go. That cost him 8 centimeters. So he can't then launch an attack over here. Okay. But Lieutenant Dane can launch an attack that away. And that's exactly what he's going to do. With his shooting at 6 dice and 3 rerolls, he's going to use all 3. He winds up with a total of 3 successes. Against a straight 6 and a single reroll, 3 successes versus 1, 2, 4 successes on the defense. That shark is going to take a shot at Cobalt. Straight 6 for him. He gets 2 successes. Cobalt is going to have 5 dice for his defense with 3 rerolls. Three successes, 4 successes. He's just fine. But he does get a chance to shoot back if he wants to. He does, but first he's going to come up to this side of the doorway. That might make all the difference if he decides to charge. Remember, he's not much of a shooter, but he does have abrasive pistols. So he can use his 2-gun mojo once per game. He's going to fire 6... He's going to fire at 6D on this attack. And it looks like that is a straight 6 dice. Triple sixes, he did a total of 7 hits. 7 hits is really good. Unfortunately, the trooper he's attacking gets to roll 6 dice with 1 reroll. And he gets 5 successes, leaving him with 2, and he goes down to his 0th vitality. He can make a check to see if he gets toughness 4, which he does not, so he goes down, and this slinky boy back here is the last guy alive. Here's the thing that I haven't seen yet, is the effects of morale. I didn't see any morale checks in this entire rule set. But I'm going to rule that with one guy left versus 4, he calls it quits. He doesn't want any part of this. And the crew is going to go ahead and let him go, because they're not interested in killing anybody. They're just trying to make a buck by saving the sacred magic alien baby. So, a successful mission. They were able to knock down the mercenaries who had tried to interfere with their plans, and Cobalt 15 managed to get the information he needs, so he's off to some sort of desert planet, I guess. The post-action sequence of Void Pirates for the campaign games is rather long and elaborate and involved. I'm not going to go through the whole thing today. Suffice it to say, one of the most important things is determining what happens to the fighters who have gone down during the fight. And it depends. If you were merely knocked out and nobody ran up and conked you on the head, it's called a coup de grace. They have a nice little chart here in the back of the book that you roll on. And so for poor old Rusty, what he's going to do is roll a d6 and subtract 1 and compare it to a chart. But because he is a tough guy, he's going to use his boost for this survival roll. And you get to make a standard 5-die roll. And he gets a total of 2, 4, 6 successes, which gives him a +3 to this roll. Factor in the -1. It's actually going to be a d6 +2. So he rolls a 1 with the +2. That means that the result is he has a serious injury. -3 to his move and -1 die to his attack rolls for 1 game. So we'll make a note of that. And that's going to be just for the attack rolls for 1 game. Now, this is where we have to start talking about one of the limitations of this game and what we learned. Oh, also, these three get 2 experience points. When you get 3, you can buy another bump. 1 for surviving the game, and 1 for knocking 1 or more enemies out. She gets 1 experience point for surviving the game, but no bonus for knocking anyone out. So what have we learned here about Void Pirates today? Well, for starters, we learned that this kind of note-taking for your character sheets just doesn't cut the mustard. You have to go through, I at least had to go through and recalculate attack and defense for all sorts of things. The big thing in this game is that melee and shooting are treated as totally different things. So we need a better character roster to just streamline that. The book provides this as an example, and really this does the trick, right? It shows that you've got 4 basic skills that you need to remember, and we need to just calculate all of that out. I think you should be able to fit 4 characters onto a single sheet instead of just putting them all on these little 3x5 cards. I looked online for a PDF of a decent roster, but I couldn't find one. The Void Pirates community, I feel like they've really let me down. Well, I shouldn't say that. I don't think there actually is a Void Pirate community. So one of the things that will be on my to-do list is whipping up a quick Excel sheet that includes all of that information in a way that's easy to print off, easy to scan with your eyes, and easy to use in battle. As I said, we're not going to go through the rest of the post-battle sequence. I'm doing a largely narrative campaign, and it's just me against me. So if I cheat a little bit on the end, the only person I'm hurting is literally no one. But for those of you keeping score at home, once you've done your wound check in this game, which can be anything from captured to dead, minor scrapes, no ill effects. Poor Rusty, he got a serious injury, so for the next battle, he's going to be slowed down and not much use. After that, they have a simple income and how to spend those experience points we talked about. They have a simple income and upkeep. You know, what do you do with all the goods that you want? How do you acquire more goods? What kind of services can you buy? Great stuff. You know, downtime, visit the cantina. You know, finding rumors, run a criminal enterprise. You can do gambling for the income and credits that you want. How do you add new crew members or replace one of your gimpy ones? So a lot of stuff you can do. Looks really well balanced. It looks like the kind of thing that if you were playing with a buddy and you each had your own 5 crew members that were kind of bouncing back and forth, could be a lot of fun to go through the whole thing. A little bit too much bookkeeping for what I'm doing today, particularly because I am so new at this game and I'm still learning the difference between boosts. Turns out they're not for the entire game. It's a one-time bonus to one of your rolls. So again, that's another single-use thing that's going to be something I need to figure out a way to keep track of. I'll probably, like I did with Vitality, see, here's the 6 for Cobalt 15, and here's the 3 for Lieutenant Dane, just bubbles that you fill in as they come in and go out. Luckily enough, I really appreciate that if you survive the game with any Vitality, you don't have to roll on that chart. And like I said, I'll go through and read and see if there's any better guidance on morale in there. I think that if you were playing a campaign game where you were worried about things like those wound checks and the survivor checks, when it's obvious that you've lost, you'd probably want to, cut your losses and get out of there as fast as possible. Have your boys flee off the table and just call it a day and come back strong the next time. But since they didn't have rules for that, we just kind of did it with our last Sharky Boy. There you go. There's Void Pirates by way of 5 parsecs from home. The game flows really well. I'm impressed with how quickly it went and how little difficulty I had in just easing right into the game. I think that the fairly standard initiative helps a lot with that. It gives you some incentive to have more guys than the other team because it gives you a lot more actions, even if they're not as effective. And I think this is one that's definitely going to stay in my library for a long time. Who knows? Maybe if the world ever gets back to being normal, I might take it down to the local friendly game shop and see if I can score any converts myself. So we'll see you in 2 days with another episode of The Joy of Wargaming. Thanks for gaming on with me and enjoying a little Void Pirates. We'll see you next time. And until then, God bless you.